Soft girl era.
I was complaining before, and I've been enjoying this soft girl era that I'm going through. I've never been able to be a soft girl. I'm so like, and now I'm just like, and then when I lower my voice and I need to be taken seriously and handled delicately, and I just look, and I'm like, baby, look, I'm not okay. I need this. I need you. I get whatever the fuck I want. Who told me to be aggressive? This is crazy.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Onyx Report, Black Masculinist news for the day. This shit. Look, y'all know I had to bring my boy in on this. Because I had to bring my boy into this. What's up, man?
What's up, Doc?
Oh,
that is funny.
Oh,
you know your mama told you to be aggressive.
Shit. Oh my goodness. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, join, and donate. Support the show so we can continue to bring you independent black male thought. Shout out to the brothers in the building. Looks like we got at least 148 in here. Hit the like button if nothing else. You see the options on the screen. You can donate in every other way possible. You got Patreon, you got Cash App, you got all of it. So please support the show. But yo, man. So initial thoughts.
Stop, Doc. We got to do a show, man.
Come on, man. This is
you got a transsexual energy female, man. With tats all over her.
I mean, shout out to Wrench Turner. Appreciate that support, man. It's and there's some interesting responses if you look at it. I know that might be a little hard to see, but you can see some of the responses in here. And this is just random. I'm just pulling these up, fair use on the video, fair use. But fellas, using discernment should be the number one quality you master when it comes to dealing with women. These women are chameleons. They don't embody femininity. They wear it as an aesthetic, hence the soft girl era. This is from Miserable Misandrous. Ooh, okay. You got women going, I'm in my soft girl era. Yeah, man. It's something that you put on and take off, I guess. So
yeah, the soft girl, but you still look like you're a Cardi B reject, even that outfit.
Miss Poetic Goddess says, fellas, do not be fooled by this soft girl era. It's getting cold. They want you to be at their every disposal due to the weather. They were city girls all summer. Now they want to lay on your chest and speak positive affirmations in your life.
Like I was saying earlier to you, but like you're the lump of coal to actually heat their house. So
Shout out to Dr. CD2. He says they really think we're so dumb that we cannot see that it's a performance.
You have performance by bad actresses. That's the only problem.
You know, it works if you've really been waiting for this so long. You're willing to convince yourself.
Yeah.
But this is not, so I had to look up what the hell a soft girl era was, and ain't no way this soft girl era just means being feminine. No way y'all bash niggas for months just be more feminine twisted.
And these are women. These are not guys saying this.
These are not guys. These are other women calling the cap. This is hilarious. Look, material world. Man, kill that soft girl era shit. Y'all realize niggas sick of y'all shit, so you being nice now. I didn't read through these. I really didn't. I just searched soft girl on Twitter and all of this came up. I did not prime these and put them up. This is all just what it is. Oh my God.
And these are women. These are not guys. These are women.
Mostly, yeah. Y'all called Kevin Samuels everything but a child of God for telling y'all to be soft, feminine, and friendly, only for y'all to enter into your soft girl era. Man, you can't make this up. Yeah. This is ridiculous, man. Look at this. Y'all going black girl luxury and soft girl era yourself into debt because it's disingenuous. Y'all doing it to look the part for SM and to manipulate relationships that fit a lifestyle you're not really living.
Yeah, some men, SM and some men.
Thank you, because I don't always keep up with Twitter. So, oh man, look, I tried to take this seriously. I really did. I wasn't impressed. I'll say that much. I wasn't impressed. I mean, I really expected a better performance, all considering. But brothers over here have been calling this for a while. I mean, it wasn't an accident that you had Kevin talking about winter's coming. It wasn't an accident.
No.
But I'll just start with the basics. Your thoughts on what the young lady had to say a little bit ago.
In other words, what she's trying to say is that, and like the caption said, you get more bees with honey than you flies with honey than you do with vinegar, right? In other words, they have been taught and trained and cultured to actually use sign language to actually bash black men back into submission, right? But that's not working. Okay. So they kept doing it until the point where they saw passport bros and all these young guys holding up those blue passports, right? So they're leaving. What did I say about black women? Okay, they're not going to act right until you leave them at least once.
Wow. And
so in mass, you see guys saying, "Okay, you know what? We tried. Guess what we're doing? It's not going to be a slow walk. It's going to be a long flight." Look. And then you have people have a whole bunch of young brothers, man, on Twitter, on Facebook, holding up their passports. So they got the message. Go ahead.
This is AB. Look at it. It ain't winter anymore. It's an ice age. AB.
What's a little chipmunk scrat?
Oh man.
I got to do it, man. I got to do a scrat meme in the soft girl era.
Oh man. This is ridiculous. Shout out to Big Mag the Fisher. Appreciate that support. Let me shout out to Greg for the support. Much appreciated. Shout out to Dardar. Appreciate that. Yeah, man. This is anyway. So I looked up a few things because I really did. I tried to take it seriously. I looked up some things online, and of course I was going to approach this, academically, but there was just a point where I just kept falling out laughing. And BGS because he was laughing at me laughing because I was just
yeah. The doc, get off the floor.
God damn it!
Don't let Hasan overrule you, man. You gotta get back into Doc Johnson now.
This is over 1,300 followers following Soft Black Girl on Instagram.
Oh really? Oh my goodness. Okay, I didn't think it'd be that big.
See, this was the white collar 92 thing I was telling you about. So
Okay.
so these are more the educated white collar, college trained, individuals who are delving into soft era. So they do it, in bougie fashion.
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. They got to do it that way.
It's got to be bougie fashion. So the first young lady I played was probably more a little more on the 85 level.
Yeah, yeah. She was an 85 all day long.
Yeah, this is 92 to 100. Maybe a dash of 89, but this is all soft girl bourgeois kind of thing. And so, the idea sounds, good, right? On the surface, it sounds like, we're really just gonna, the women are gonna push back into their feminine and allow men to step in and take care of them. But one of the things I appreciate about the first lady I played on Twitter was that at the very least, she couldn't help herself being honest.
Yeah.
And it had much more to do with what she could get out of people than it had to do with. Now there was a stress. Even she articulated some degree of a stress release. So I'm not going to say this doesn't have any, quality that they're enjoying internally. But as it relates to men, what we get when we hear this is, I'm just a useful idiot. I'm a step stool that's convenient for you when it's convenient for you. And when I'm not, you'll toss me aside like refuse.
It's winter. You Latina chicks and you white chicks can't have my lump of coal. Okay, it's mine.
Wrench Turner, appreciate that support. He said, give it a few months until the live streams of brothers chopping it up completely in Portuguese come out.
It's already they're already coming out with the cats in Colombia right now speaking Spanish.
Oh man! Shout out to Prize or Prisoner for appreciate that support. JBA Mega Montana, appreciate that support. This is what we're looking at, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's inevitable, right? To me, it's like the white flag, right? Okay, we tried everything else, so this is we're waving a white flag for you Negroes. You said you wanted fit, feminine, and friendly, so we can't get the fit right. Just this moment, working on that, but we can actually just kind of feign the feminine and friendly.
Oh shit! I ain't mad at some of these pictures, but but the thing about it though is it would be received very differently if it wasn't clearly something put on and taken off like clothing. And that's part of the problem, because you really get the impression as a man reading this that it wouldn't take much for things to reverse. One of the things I was saying back when they were bringing in Biden and Harris, that they were pushing for any kind of policy possible that would allow for that independent life. And if there was any difficulty, they would shift into leaning on Black men. But the moment there was even a semblance of being able to go back to that independent life, they would toss you aside. And none of this changes my mind on that. None of this changes. I mean, all this looks like to me is an opportunity to allow you, and it's a very top-down narrative. I'm going to allow you to serve me. Because you've been saying you want me to be soft, so I will allow you to serve me. It's really it's still just as selfish and preoccupied as what brothers were upset about in the first place. None of this says anything about how she's going to treat you. None of this. Not even what we played earlier said anything about how she's going to treat you. It's all about what she receives and what she expects. None of that has seemed to change.
I'm gonna be kinder to my slaves.
Oh God.
We got a lot of Black guys say we have a good master.
Oh my God, Sir Shy 87, appreciate that support. It's but these are the things I'm glad to hear brothers are talking about. I'm glad to hear that brothers are dialoguing about, because at some point this needs to be scrutinized. And this reminds me of past eras from the 80s onward, where they would strategize these little behavioral shifts, and men really didn't have a place to dialogue amongst themselves. So every brother just kind of had to figure it out on his own. Some did, many didn't. And this is an era where black men are able to actually step back and go, what the fuck is this? And in dialogue with each other. And so you're seeing a response that I've never seen before. Now, this is one I found a little earlier as well. I thought you might find interesting. Refinery29.com. What is a soft black girl summer and why I'm vowing to have one? By BGS IBMOR, dated May 11th. You know, so you see there's some pictures throughout that are very reminiscent of what we just got through looking at. And, you know, she says, follow the hashtag soft black girl on Instagram. You'll be inundated with tens of thousands of ethereal posts emulating something of a Bridgerton tea party. Picnics in a meadow and bonnet adorned afros, perusing country estates to books read beneath cherry blossom trees and pastel midi dresses, billowing behind a basketed bicycle. If you don't get the fuck out of
a Victorian black women. Oh, oh my goodness.
I'm sorry. I'm allergic to certain types of you know, look, this is the core of it. And I was telling you this before we got on air. Black men are really simple. And sometimes it's much more simple than even we would like sometimes. All most black men I know really want is just to be treated humanely. I mean, really. I don't need you to be wearing billowing fucking midi dresses behind basketed bicycles. Can you just treat a man like he's a human being and not a fool?
Yeah. What did Kevin say, you know, before he died? All black men really want you to do is be nice to us.
That's what man, it really isn't more than that. When I'm dealing with undergrad black men, I can't tell you, you know, how many of them want to get married and have kids at freaking 18. You know what I mean? They can't wait to find a wife. And they talk about how you know what they want to do for her and all these kinds of things. That's the starting point.
Yeah. MLR's in there with super chat talking smack though.
Hey, let me catch up. So we got Gold Professor. Gold Professor says hard head makes a soft ass. Brothers know when that head is still hard. Shout out to Gold Professor. Worship the King says soft girl era lines up with the coming recession. That's pretty much it. Oh man, MLR. Shout out to MLR. Says let them all divest or chill out at the recycle bin. I will watch this with interest. Man. Oh my God.
MLR don't normally go in. He's going in.
Oh man. Let me see. So Saint Nick's 69 says this is nothing more than pick me light. I say day late, dollar short. Don't fall for it. Now,
yeah, I've heard of that. The pick me light. In other words, you've been calling us a pick me for the last several years. Now you want to cop our swag.
Yeah. Oh, there have been a number of women. We just saw some on Twitter. I definitely heard this from Danica Marie. She was talking about this and called it out for what it is. I've heard others. I don't think I've heard Pink Book yet, but I may have. I don't remember.
I don't think so. Not yet.
I mean, that's gonna be vicious when that happens if she hasn't done it already.
Oh,
but this man, I mean, a lot of the women that have gotten a lot of flack for being supportive of black men are now kind of all of a sudden being copied. But it's such a ham-handed, you know, kind of performance that it's frustrating. And so I just really wanted to simplify this mess. You know, it doesn't have to be this damn performative. All it needs to be is genuine. That's really all it needs to be. Actually, just appreciate a man for being a human being, for just being who he is. Actually listen to what the brother actually has to say, what's on his mind. It doesn't have to be crazy ridiculous. But if you look at this, none of this has to do with men. See, that's the interesting thing.
Yes,
useful, but none of this performative, even the and I'm gonna get back to reading this little piece. Even everything she's talking about is all about the performance of an idea, something that she's seen in a movie, she's read about in a novel. It has nothing to do with you and how she's treating you. She wants you to pay for it.
Yes,
she wants you to finance it, but she hasn't offered anything in this that's actually about treating black men humanely.
No,
it's all performative. Shout out to Adrian. Says black men did like Russia and cut the gas. Damn.
No Nord Stream 1 for you.
Oh my God. These brothers are going in. Freddie said, I think she gets it. She now understands that you can catch more flies with honey instead of vinegar. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But here's the problem. you're trying to catch flies, as it were, if we stick with the metaphor, but you're not really paying attention to what these brothers are actually about. You heard, you know what I noticed a lot. This happened with when Kevin was still alive. It's still happening now. It's almost like the what they used to call that, the cliff notes.
Yes.
They get the cliff notes. They're not actually listening to what black men say. They're actually just looking at thumbnails. They're looking at titles. They're hearing these small clips of Kevin on World Star. It's very surface level. It's like the majority. It's interesting. The majority of the people that I get that are really critical of the things I say, when I actually push back and ask them, all right, what are you critical of? The majority of the time, and these are mostly feminists, women and female feminists, really.
Yeah.
The majority of the time, what I get back is, well, I don't like that you hate women. I'm like, okay, where did you get that from? Well, and when you press them hard enough, they start telling you the titles of your videos.
Okay.
I'm like, what does that have to do with what I actually argue? And then they go from the titles of the videos to the people in the comments that are the most egregious.
Yeah.
And somehow that's supposed to be reflective of what I'm saying. That's what I think is happening right now with this whole question of soft girl, to the extent that it applies to men, which I argue is very little. It's performative, but it really doesn't apply to us. To the extent that it does, it's not about what we actually have talked about. It's about the performance of what they think we're interested in.
Yes, that's when they hear us talk about being fit, feminine, friendly, and being feminine and cooperative. This is their impression of it.
Yes, it's very much an impression and a performance. It has nothing to do with actually listening to what men have actually been saying. So you're going to perform these kind of gestures, but it's really not this complicated. Shout out to Ghetto User. He says, is this the new game? Old head talking here, support as usual.
Yeah, this is a new game, man.
Yeah.
New tactic. I don't know if it's a new game, but new tactic.
Yeah. F. Tanner says, yawn, just another. Oh, Klingon.
Oh, that's pretty good. You got to steal that one. Got to steal that one.
Cloaking device. Ooh.
Cloaking device. Ooh.
God damn. Kapla. Anyway. Rectail Gunner says, the great secret of true success or true happiness is this: the man or woman who asks for no return and perfectly unselfish person is the most successful. Okay, Swami Vivekananda, she fake brothers. She fake brothers. I don't know if the Swami
Vivekananda. I think he's talking about Vivica Fox.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay,
yeah.
Vivekananda. Damn. Man, shout out to MLR again. Let me see. MLR says, so now the hyenas decided to wash the mud and off their back feet, and now believe that they are lionesses. They are still hyenas, in my opinion. Okay.
Yeah, MLR don't normally go in like this.
This is pissing brothers off,
Yes.
Saint Nick's again. Women of other races come at you with a scalpel. Our women come at you with a chainsaw.
So not a leatherhead, huh? Leatherhead mask tape. I'm feminine. Lady leatherhead.
Oh my goodness. Wrench Turner says soft girl era equals great value submission. Kevin was right. Hashtag Kevin was right. Okay. My boy Cameron in the house. Shout outs from med school. Keep kicking facts, Doc. Appreciate that, man. And I'm actually glad to see that brothers are scrutinizing what's going on. That's what I'm happy to see. We're not just taking whatever's presented, but when you really look at it, again, this has nothing to do with you. You know what? It's interesting. Black men in particular in this regard are considered just an after effect.
Yeah.
It's an after. I get the basic philosophy. If we're feminine, the men will come. I get it. This is an extension of the prosperity idea that many women have been drawn to over the last few decades. I get it. But the reality is we're at a place where you actually do have to listen to what men are saying. If you at all want men to take you seriously, and you're not. I mean, I'm looking at this. This is all performance that has nothing to do with anything. And I'm sure the feminists that are engaged in this are happy to say it has nothing to do with men.
Mm-hmm.
But many a woman is engaged in this, hoping to engender a different relationship with men.
Mm-hmm.
And I warn you, for those who are doing that, but actually haven't thought about what men are actually saying or dealing with, You know, especially if you're coming out of that camp with the therapists who are talking about how men need to increase their emotional intelligence, but you ain't bothered to listen to what a man had to say in the last 20 years anyway. This is not going to work for you. So anyway, I'll continue with what she says here. Seemingly worlds apart from the consistently depressing news cycles and the worries brought on by the cost of living crisis. Oh, she said it. I'm unashamed to admit that a soft black girl summer is something I crave. With the coat to get core, I don't know how to pronounce that well. Fashion trending worldwide, the vibe has shifted undoubtedly to pastels, pinks, countryside, corsets, florals and frills, and the likes of that.
You can't make this stuff up, man.
How this became about delving into bourgeois extreme, I don't know. But somehow this became an idea. That, you know, falling into this bourgeois ideal of frail and being in need of protection. Shout out to K. Ron. He says the soft era is a day late and a few dollars short. Men are heavily invested in seeking their own peace and joy. This soft trick bag won't work. Any thoughts about any of this, BGS? Because I'm
This is the opening salvo. They haven't got the rhetoric down quite yet.
This is like an episode of Downtown Abbey. That's what the fuck.
Look, she actually said where it comes from. Bridgerton. Remember the Bridgerton on I think it was Netflix, where you had this this Victorian age mix of people, black and white, where the black one can actually put on the ladylike dresses and stuff like that, and have white men swooning over. Yeah. So this is what they want. Victorian age for black women.
This is so stupid. Look, it just you know what? And I said Downtown Abbey, but I really didn't even read halfway through the next sentence. So emitting something out of a Renaissance painting or a scene from Downton Abbey.
Okay.
Black girl influencers are taking up space in a landscape where whiteness has only been permitted to occupy our imagination. And whilst this trend is undoubtedly a palate cleanser for our timelines, these images, staged and purposeful, are not only pleasing for the eye. Over their TikTok videos, sound bites tell us, welcome to Black woman, bare minimum, a safe space where you can do the least and bet the most. Oh, man.
Okay, so being black girl magic's not working, huh?
I guess this is the shift, right? We're going from black girl magic to
soft girls, huh?
To soft girls. I mean, we're bringing. Sorry, I lost my place when I enlarged the screen, but you know,
so City Girl era is over, or is it over already?
It seems to be. I mean, now we're in Downton Abbey, you know. And I swear, the first person I hear with a British fucking accent on this shit, I'm gonna be livid. I'm so damn serious.
So your community tab is gonna get lit if this happens, huh?
I swear to you. I swear, the first one I hear, you know, coming out of Brooklyn or Chicago with a British accent on a basketed bike and shit, I'm just gonna be. Oh my God! Let me see. Empire says, "Said it before. It's the modern version of the born again virgin. Look, we is delivered." Queen Kalila in the house. She says we wouldn't survive Downton Abbey culture. Real talk. We really War Child Games. The dress is a trap. Wow. This is man.
It's like the cake is a lie.
Man. Look, we're in an economy right now that is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. We're seeing black women have the highest rates of being evicted.
Yes.
And that, of course, is if you control for the fact that, you know, black men aren't even regarded in that. And we're really not even going to talk about how many black male homeless there was before the question of who's getting evicted the most. We're not even going to get in that. Black men couldn't even get homes. You came out of prison, especially, even though you had a voucher, you couldn't even get into a home. So it's an interesting discussion to hear who's not able to, you know, who's being evicted. But that's taking place. We're hearing about people losing jobs. We're hearing about the difficulty people have renting. We hear the difficulty people have buying homes. it's a turbulent moment.
Yes.
So, you know, this coming right about now doesn't surprise me. What do you see as far as the relationship between the economy and this soft girl era?
Like I said, I think this is the white flag, and they're out of ideas. And so remember the video you did with the chick that said that she's looking for a roommate. She's actually going to offer sex, and she's first thing she said: rent high, food's high, gas high.
Yeah.
I'm not ready for a relationship, but the thing is, I know I have to have sex with you, so we'll work that shit out. Come on, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what's happening.
Man,
It's happening. I said they're gonna come back to the table. Okay, this is a white flag. Okay, if it keeps up, okay, we've been asking for this for how long? For 15 years about being nice, being fit and feminine and friendly. Okay, and so they're gonna try to put on their best face for us, and this is it. Because the other stuff, it doesn't work anymore. So um, the other weapons they have doesn't work because, like I said, the blue passport, they wave in front of these chicks' faces. Oh, these Negroes are serious,
they're not
and
playing.
they're not playing. And they're going to other races. They're going to Latinos to clean us up, and the guys with means that said, I'm out of the country. I can't deal with y'all no more. So good luck to you.
And it's a cold game when you look at it, because you got brothers in I won't say every, but in many different ideological practices that are engaging in some element of this, whether they are identifying it openly or not. So clearly you got brothers that are unapologetically straightforward about why they're leaving and the difficulties and frustrations they've had. You got brothers who are all about being pro-black and black nationalists who are still traveling internationally looking for wives. I know this because for the last 20 years, I've been in dialogue with brothers who have been talking about this for years.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Even the older brothers who are, in their late 50s and 60s, man, they are not playing with this. And it's happening on so many levels. Some of the old scholars that I've studied under, worked under in the academy, you start asking them questions or looking at their lives. This shit is not a game. Not a game. Brothers are seriously responding to this, and it's brothers that aren't even associated openly with the manosphere. There's no indication in their lives or their work that they're outwardly listening to the manosphere, and you're still seeing elements of this.
Yeah.
And that's because people have the cart before the horse, and I want you to talk about this. People think that the manosphere is causing black men to act a certain way. Can you explain to people what's really going on? What is that relationship really about?
Really, all the manosphere is doing is a sounding board for what's out there already. Every man knows that this is happening to them. The thing is, like you said, when you first came here, they're given permission to actually say it out loud. That's the only difference. Okay, so the thing is like the people already out there were frustrated with their lives, with their relationship with black women, and all black men. All the manosphere is doing is actually giving men to actually voice this frustration. That's all. That's it. And first thing people said, I thought I was alone. I thought I was the only one that felt like this. And I said, I'm glad to know I'm not by myself. It's the only thing that's the only thing the black manosphere does it, because this has been going on for 50, 60 years. It's not new.
No, it isn't. Brothers have been doing this long before it became fashionable, if you will. And when you sat down to talk with them, they didn't have the jargon, they didn't have the hashtags, they didn't have the vocabulary of the manosphere. But even as far back as the late 80s, I remember sitting down with brothers who were older than me and who had traveled and married abroad and came back, and they would tell you why. They were quite explicit. And it was, you would think, language, the particular vocabulary aside, that there was a manosphere. You really would. And that's the thing that I really want to get across to people. You blame the manosphere for the things you don't like.
Right.
But you understand the manosphere is the tip of the spear. The manosphere is the space where these things are finally being said aloud, but they've been practiced for decades. It's not the other way. They think the manosphere is causing this.
No.
It's the other way around.
It's the other way around. The manosphere is actually a product of it. Yeah, exactly.
It's ridiculous. So you can get mad at the manosphere if you want to, but you really need to look at the brothers who didn't even say anything. They just got on a plane 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah, but now them brothers actually reporting back. Okay, that's all that's happening.
Mhm. Especially if they didn't stay abroad indefinitely. Marcus in the house. What's up, Marcus? Keep it 100. What's going on? Yeah, man, this is crazy. This is crazy. So I was surprised about the kind of middle class white collar, soft girl. And I got to shout out Alan. Alan of We Need to Talk. He hit me to this because he said it when I interviewed him. He asked me toward the end of the show, "You heard about soft girl? What the hell is that?" And he told me, and it's not that I didn't believe him. I just hadn't seen it yet. So I was like, "You got to be playing with me." And
yeah,
he sent me little texts here and there, but sure enough, he was dead on.
He didn't think it had any legs to actually become popular. But what it tells you is that the winter is like AB said, it's not a winter anymore. It's an ice age coming, and they feel it.
Wow. Yeah, but not being openly willing to acknowledge it, and this goes back to something we talked about probably about 3-4 years ago now. One of the things that I remember you saying was that at some point there needs to be a redress of grievances.
Yes.
And the part of the problem, is that there hasn't really been a redress because there's still not been any indication that Black men have actually been heard. What they kind of do is they sense your mood.
Yeah.
And they know something is wrong, and then they try to guess at what you need, but they're not actually listening. So that redress of grievances is going to be a thing.
Yeah.
But this is where I wanted to ask you about, because we talked about this a little earlier. You were saying that there were questions that came up at one point about where people were coming to you and saying, what will it take?
Yeah, it was actually it was on it happened before, but actually it was actually on OB's live stream liast week. And Courtney, I was telling her that Black men don't trust Black women. Okay, even with the softcore stuff, they're not gonna trust it because they've been fooled before, right? She said, "What will it take?" I said, "First thing you can actually do is go down to the courts and say, I'm taking all these Negroes off of child support." That'll get Black folks' attention. Okay, Black men's attention. The second thing I told her is that go to your legislature. Said, okay, we want 50-50 custody off the bat. It'd be even better if you gave the children to the men. Okay. And one thing I left her with to all Black women, right? Okay. If you really want to, really intentional about this, really want to keep your men, go to the Black man of your choice and look him straight in the eye and mean it, right? If you take me back, I'll be the best wife in the world for you. Okay. If you take me back, and I mean, I'll work as hard as I can to be the best wife you could imagine. If you do that and mean it, brothers might give you a shot. Those are 3 things I actually told her. Okay. If you do those 3 things, you might have a shot. Other than that, they're not going. This soft girl shit doesn't mean anything because it's a fake. Okay. And brothers know it's a fake. You're just putting on your Klingon and Beta Z clothing. That's all it is.
I mean, at the end of the day, what I hear is the Black male political agenda.
Yes.
That's what I hear. When you talk about repairing, see, a lot of people thought that the agenda was just about, pissing people off, and it was just about, being incendiary and pointing out, and some people even said it was just whining or complaining about what Black men are not happy about. But really what it has to do is the proposal of policies that would improve the quality of Black males' lives.
And what's number 1? Family court reform, right?
Family court reform.
Thank you, Cornelius.
Go ahead.
No, thank you, Cornelius, for the BGS tax.
Yep, much appreciated. But what you're saying is, so these are policy ideas that we're talking about.
Was it child custody number 1, right?
Yeah, child custody. Right there.
Paternity testing. Okay.
Yeah, mandatory paternity testing, which is something we're starting to hear about on the book. Reinstituting at-fault divorce standards. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. But I've been pushing this across different people's shows for the last week because I'm saying this is the beginning point of Black men articulating what they want. And what I'm hearing you say is when people ask, okay, well, look, we're tired of all of this, gender war. What is it going to take to resolve this? Actually saying it's going to take, you got to put skin in the game. You got to actually put something on the table other than performance.
Yes.
And say, look, show me.
Yeah.
Show me that this is something more than just something you're going to do during the winter, right? When things are cold.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the terms on the table. And that's a huge statement for a woman to actually give up,
Child support value systems right on the table. They don't have to look very far.
Yeah. The idea, it's not hard.
It'd be better than instead of being capped, to be no child support, 50-50 custody, right down the pipe.
Yeah.
If you mean it.
If you mean it. See, one of the things we've been saying for a number of years now is that the status of Black America, in terms of Black men and women, most particularly, has been orchestrated over generations by policy. I mean, it's been policy that has shaped where we are. It's shaped our expectations. It's shaped behavior over generations, especially when women know that they have certain benefits that they can, employ to their interest at whim. The only way you're going to see resolution is when there's a demonstration of a willingness to let those policies go to the wayside.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, that's what it's going to take. You can't have these kinds of practices in place and then ask men to sacrifice and take it. It's not going to work.
Yeah, not going to work.
Men do not. There's no point where men are in a position to take these risks with no kind of demonstration that
you got skin in the game.
Right. Yeah. Right. J.R. Ryle says soft in Black America means sucker, and you a sucker for following women. You don't have to announce you're soft. Any female that says she's soft has told on herself.
Yeah. What were you before? Like before the summer?
Yeah. So I mean, on one level, there are more subtle things like demonstrating over time that you're not going to take something told to you in a moment of vulnerability and weaponize it. These are things that Black men have complained about for the longest. So on a relationship level, there's value in that. But at some point, there's going to have to be a material investment in terms of these practices here.
Start investing in your boys, because those are the next men. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, all the money that you're getting from the state and the government and corporations and those nonprofit funds. Okay, instead of going to all these girl programs, invest in your boys.
Yeah. Because you have Black women in fairly elite spaces and corporate spaces and government spaces that are advocating for policies and practices, philanthropic and otherwise, that are primarily targeted to girls. And many of these women don't have sons. That's the part that gets me. How you have a son and you're pushing for policies to advance Black women's employment options, training for employment options, and your son is struggling.
Yeah.
How does that make sense?
It makes sense. You're probably looking for a successful Black woman to marry him off to, instead of the other way around.
Check out Mr. Tolbert says, I'm in the DMV area with an MBA government consultant, and Black women roll their eyes at me. Okay. But the interesting thing about it is, you're starting to see, when things get intense, you start to see the competition levels go up.
Oh yeah, sky high.
When other groups of women start looking at Black men and saying, why exactly is he single? What? I mean, I told this story before, but I can't help but tell it again, because this is a colleague of mine, brilliant brother. And he's a fairly young cat. He's younger than me, and he's married to an African woman. And we had a conversation about how he met his wife. And he said, man, she came at me so hard. He was like, she almost willed me into a relationship with her. I mean, she was so intense and clear. And I said, well, what was she saying? Shout out to Barry for the support. He said she was like, so you're young, you're accomplished, you're brilliant, and nobody is snatching you up. And he just kind of was like, yeah, so I've kind of forced them. I backed them into a corner. I was like, look, man, tell the truth. What happened prior to her? He said, well, sisters thought I was corny because I was in school, because I like to read, got his doctorate at an extremely young age, got, tenured, and then became a full professor, and he said sisters just didn't think he was, and it wasn't about him physically. This is a handsome brother, but they looked at his lifestyle and they just said the lifestyle itself isn't sexy enough. It isn't intriguing enough. Doctor, lawyer, athlete, entertainer, maybe drug dealer. That was it. You fell outside of that, you weren't interesting. And despite having a doctorate, he was listed as a teacher. That's the funny part. When Black women talk about you, you're a teacher. Okay. So I might as well be teaching third grade, let alone, but it doesn't matter. They just see you as a teacher. That's how he was described. And from there, so this African sister took one look at him. She was like, he's handsome, he's intelligent, he's considerate. He's doing well for himself, and he's accomplished as hell, and y'all don't want him. She came at him so hard it was like watching a football play. Like he just got tackled. And I'm serious, man. He wasn't, he was just like, I don't know where all the intensity came from, but she did not give me a choice. She was like, no, I want you, and they've been doing well.
You're coming with me.
Yeah, you're coming with me. And I don't mean to suggest that she's masculine. She just didn't understand. She was like, how exactly are y'all not going for this? But and she snatched him up and didn't have a lot of competition. And I will say she caught him before he left the country. But then again, she brought the other country to him. I mean, she was from Africa.
Yeah. Yeah. Right after he got snatched up, all of a sudden, all the sisters wanted him.
Right. And there were subtle discussions about, why he would choose who he chose. But it didn't get but so far because she's still Black.
Yes.
So that's the complication. If now she was white or something else, he'd probably be talked about even more. But she's still, she had African features, unapologetically so, dark-skinned Black woman. But they couldn't say that it was a white supremacy thing. They couldn't say he just wanted a white girl. And so, they just kind of give you the side eye, but they don't say anything. And that's kind of what he deals with. But he's happy. He's happy. What do you say to that?
You said, good move. I lucked up.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so we got Ashley in here watching the same Black women who call others pick-me's for embracing the softer side of life and wanting to have husbands now want to embrace soft life is hilarious.
Yeah, the revenge of the pick-me's now.
Yeah.
Like the revenge of the nerds, revenge of the pick-me's.
Oh yeah, they got the moral high ground at this point. They can, they've gone through quite a bit. I've watched them, how other women have dealt with them, and it's been a cold game. It's been a cold game. So, but this question of actually fixing the Black community, it's a relevant one. But my feeling on it, and I told you this, over the last couple of years, it's not that it's not that it can't be done. I just don't know if women are willing to do what that would require.
The things, can it be done? Sure. The things, it's going to take time. Do they have enough time? If they started this 10 years ago, they'd be up on it. The thing is, you can't do this at the last second because you've never been trained to do it. It's like trying out for the NBA at 21. Okay, never having picked up a basketball.
Oh, damn!
Now you're trying to go pro with it? No. Okay, you need to go pro because white girls and Latinas, even in this country, know how to compete. They've been trained to compete. You haven't.
And shout out to Rael. He drops in another one. He said, I had a Pakistani woman tell me in college after hearing my views on family, I wish my boyfriend thought like you. He was Pakistani too. She assumed women were fawning over me. I said, you have no idea. Yeah. And he's speaking to, the competition level that's been rising. We got Orange Pill Nurse. Sisters will project and say we are overlooking the nerdy sisters for IG chicks. How many brothers have I seen with IG chicks? I mean, come on, man.
The ones that fly them in and let them go. Okay. Most brothers can't afford an IG chick.
Exactly. Shout out to Queen Kalila. She says, for the Black men's political agenda super PAC fund. Real talk. Mr. Z in the building says, I did a video about Black women in luxury a little while ago. The level of insanity and delusion is insane. These women aren't playing. They want the upper middle class white woman's life.
Okay, well, if you can get it, you can get it. Okay, that's all I can say.
But again, when we go to the stats and we actually look at what people are earning, shout out to MLR. Winter is coming for you, soft girl, Black women. Shout out to AF. MLR is hot, boy. He's hot.
Well, he's at that level, man. He's at that level. He's at that luxury level. So
yeah,
they're coming at him with that soft girl shit.
But when you look at the economy at this point, when you look at earnings, when you look at what people are doing, even by household, 6 figures is as it always has been. It's a very small congregation of men that earn that. Hell, it's even an even smaller congregation of women that earn it. As much as we've heard about how well women and black women are doing in particular, there are fewer black women earning six figures than black men. It is what it is. So
Well,
I'm also saying that to the brothers because I don't want y'all to get this shit confused because they like to rub it in your face and say we're running circles around. No, there are fewer numbers of black women that making six figures than black men.
There are. They actually, I think it was Black Demographics actually showed the millennial generation about how much they earned and where they were at, right? 4% of millennials actually earn six figures and above. 4%. And I think it's 3% for women, for black women. 4% of millennials, of black male millennials actually earn six figures or above.
And look, fuck soft girl era. Why don't we talk about cooperation era? How about that? You have a conversation with your counterpart, right? You know, the men who hit on you that you think you too good for. You know what? That's likely the one you did that's on your level. That's the one you might have to have a conversation with. But the reality is it's not going to be a $300,000 a year earner. That's not how that goes.
Nope.
It's more than go ahead.
He's already got his soft girl.
Uh-oh. Man, look at that. No black man tells a black woman she's too corny or too soft or too boring or nerdy. Yeah?
That's true. That's true.
Real talk. That's absolutely. But at the end of the day, you just got to actually just deal with people on a realistic level. And that's why we've been calling this shit insane and crazy in terms of the requests that women are making of men. Because it's really, you're talking about what, 5% of the population?
Yeah.
Supposed to be, most black women are supposed to be worthy of 5% of black men. And that makes sense.
Yeah. If you earn 75,000 or above, you're in the top 10% of all black male earners. Black earners, period. That's the top 10%. 75,000 and up.
And so very few people are going to get that. At the end of the day, very few are. But the reality is, when you look at the data, going back to what you said a minute ago about the percentage of women that earn those rates, there are fewer women that earn it. So that said, you're going to qualify for the majority of men, or at least the larger population of men that are available that are on your level.
Right.
Cooperate.
Yeah.
That's all it is. We don't got to live in Downton Abbey. You just need to cooperate with the motherfucker that's been asking you out for a month. Just deal with him. But and this is particularly frustrating to me when I talk to black male students who are trying to date some of the women they go to school with, and these women are telling them that they're not good enough. And I'm like, y'all are both students living in the dorms. What are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about? Oh my goodness. I don't know. This is just interesting to me. Yeah.
But this is the white flag. See if they follow through. But send them to a POW camp before you actually let them out. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Let's see. Shah X says, Doc, even when the black women that make six figures are in a worse financial situation than a man making 70,000, winter is here. Oh.
Oh yeah.
I've seen
Winter's
that.
Here. Winter's here.
Yeah. Yeah. When I've seen a brother who's earned less but has his life together, has no debt, has his bills paid, and she earns more and her life is chaos, you still need that brother in your life. You still need him. But even if he's there, are you willing to actually listen? If his life is actually in some degree of tranquility, peace, and organization, and yours is in chaos, does it seem that you might have something to learn from him, even though he makes less? But he has less debt, so we could really have a different conversation about who makes what. But that aside,
it doesn't matter how much he makes, right? What kind of man can you get? Okay, there are men out there that make more than you, but can you get those men? At the end of the day, you like you said, I hate to say it, you eat what you kill. If you can't bring that man home, he's not on your level. The men on your level, the ones actually hollering at you, actually trying to get in your DMs, trying to get with you. Those are the men at your level.
Absolutely. But this stuff has just gotten so ridiculously out of hand. Shout out to Wrench Turner, says roundhouse that like button, brothers. Revolution ain't free. Oh man,
Wrench got his passport, man. he's
yeah.
out.
You know, and Rael keeps dropping it. He said that a Latina I dealt with in college say to me she thought she was not good enough for me. She said she appreciated me for not taking the little money she had, which I could have based on her. I could have based on her culture. Damn. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so we got Officer Faulkner in the building. Shout out. What's up, man?
Woo! All right.
And it says black women basic training is needed before anything else comes to the table.
Yeah. They gotta go to the re-education camps first.
Man, this is ridiculous. All right, yeah, that's that. Just I don't have shit else to say. This is really stupid. Look, I'm all for people finding a less stressful way of life. If it's also tied to an attempt to manipulate and exploit black men, I'm gonna call bullshit. That's just all it is.
It does seem like a finesse, doesn't it?
It is a finesse. It really is. And whether you're blatant about it or whether you're gonna pretend like this has nothing to do with men, it's a finesse as far as I'm concerned. And at some point we're gonna have to have honest conversations because again, black men are really not asking for a lot. And this is one of the things that struck me years ago because you were the first person I heard say, you could point out, was it Latino men living in huts? Break that down.
Yeah. In other words, the black women kept saying, like Crystal Cares and a few others saying that we black men had to pay for femininity, right, and respect. If you didn't make a certain amount of money, give a certain kind of lifestyle, you couldn't get respect from women, right? So no one will give you respect without money. I said I've seen humble people, right? That a husband that lives in a shack with no windows, right? Looks like a little tienda, right? A little shop, right? No windows, a curtain for a door, a tin roof, right? With 3 kids living all in that one little space. Okay. And that woman, his wife, gave him more femininity, respect, a dignity, and more loyalty than any black women I've seen in the United States, right? And they had nothing. They lived. She actually was sweeping a bare floor of a dirt floor, and she treated her man with way more respect and femininity and quietness and cooperation than any black woman I've seen in the States. So don't tell me that femininity and respect and cooperation, and all the other stuff that comes with a price. No, it doesn't. Okay, are you that way? You're not. So if a person that makes less than makes $2 a day can get it, how come we can't? And we're the richest country on the planet. And a brother like Dr. J, who's probably in the less than 1% if you add up all his boxes, right? Okay, then if he can't get it, his accomplishment, then basically, guess what? It has nothing to do with money. It has to do with the woman that in front of you. Either she has it or she doesn't. Money doesn't make that.
Oh, you were talking about me. I was like,
yeah, Dr. J.
I was thinking the basketball player. I said, damn, he didn't get
it. No, he didn't get it either. He didn't get it either.
Oh man.
What I'm saying is, if you take somebody like you, Ronald, and Gigi, right? How many black PhDs do we have in the United States? Okay, period. Just with a degree. Forget the earnings.
Yeah.
Just with a PhD.
It's a fraction. Yeah.
A fraction. Okay.
It's a fraction of the academy. Shit. Let alone a fraction of the society.
Of the population. So basically, a black man with a PhD, he had to walk through a whole bunch of minefields to get there. Okay. Without getting blown up. And so if a man like you, a man like Ronald, a man like Gigi can't get that kind of cooperation, it doesn't exist amongst black women. Because guess what? Like the brother that you said, the woman from Africa swooped him up. No, you ain't going nowhere. Okay, you're found gold. Okay, she couldn't believe there's nobody competing for him.
Yeah, and his problem, and I think I say that because it's not his alone. I think it's something that many black men experience, whether they know it or not.
Right.
he had no sense that he had value.
Yes.
He really didn't. No matter how much he accomplished, he never had a sense that he had value. So when she saw what he was bringing to the table, just in who he was,
right,
he couldn't understand the intensity of her actions. But she knew from her society to America, the man had value across the board. I mean, for her, that was like finding $100 bill just laying on the street. That's what that was.
Yeah.
She snatched him up so strong, he didn't know what to do with it. Let me see. Okay, so we got Jerome. Jerome says when black women find a guy on their level financially, they tend to move the goalposts and make new stipulations in regards to physicality, swag, personality. The brother could actually be a decent looking guy, make it make sense.
No, no, because they've been taught by their mothers just to tamp down your ego.
Hey, see, the bottom line for me is I'm not opposed to black women finding a way to exist in the world with less stress. Fine,
right.
That's great. I don't understand the theatrics that y'all got going with it, but fuck it. If that's what works for you, that's what works for you. But when you bring it back to black men as a flex and as a bait and switch, now I got a problem. Because what all black men have really asked for is just a level of simplistic niceness and kindness. That's all it's really come down to. It's not much more complicated than that.
Yeah.
You know, it isn't. A smile, nice conversation, you know, I mean, engagement that doesn't have to end in fucking warfare. It's not much more complicated than that.
Yeah. Well, black women get bored if they don't have a fight at least once a week.
Oh man,
had nothing to tell the girls. It's life is going too well. It's boring.
I used to have conversations with brothers where we would talk about how long it's been since there was a week in their relationship without an argument. And when you get professional, accomplished black men that cannot remember the last time they had a week in their relationship that did not go into an argument, that's a problem. And they would tell you, I'm not starting these arguments. I'm walking into a room and they're being thrown at me. I'm not, they're not looking for conflict. But it goes to that boredom thing you were talking about.
I mean, have you ever, this happened, it should happen to me all the time, right? You cannot walk into the house with a black woman, and smile, right? Like you're happy. Like, Negro, what you happy about? I didn't put that smile on your face. And they would immediately start a fight.
Look, listen to this. So we got, I don't know how to pronounce that, Ma GR. He says, got a whole PhD, 6 figures, real estate portfolio, no kids, athletic build, etc. And sisters literally spend more energy telling me why she's not impressed instead of going on the date.
Oh yeah, it's called a neg, right? Negging. And pickup, they call it negging, trying to make you put you beneath them, so you look up to them, so you ask for less.
But see now. So you have black men and women that can go to other countries and engage the opposite sex. Now, what is the difference in your assessment between black men that travel and meet women of other countries and black women that travel to meet men of other countries? What's the difference to you?
Okay, the difference between black men, men and women, period, right? Especially black men and women, right? Black men can, number one, they can adapt to the culture, and black women really can't. It's hard for them to actually do that. Secondarily, black men are unique because they've been taught to kind of serve their women, right? Most women are not used to that. Most women actually, in other cultures, actually used to being told what to do all the time, right? Micromanage, right? Black men are not on that. Give me a good woman that's nice to me, that will kind of get on my program. I don't have to micromanage her, and we're good. And they can't believe that you give them that kind of autonomy in a relationship. So, like, they've never experienced that before. That's like a black men, when they go someplace else, it's like gold. I can't, like Rael said with the Latina. You didn't take my money. I'm impressed. Like he said when the Pakistani woman, I think she's Pakistani, said his outlook on family and culture, that doesn't exist in her culture, because you give them such a wide range of freedom they don't get in a marriage in other cultures, right? Because black men are actually bred to do something different. Like I like lift our women up instead of put them down, or instead of putting them in their place. Okay, so we're bred differently. So when the women of other cultures see that, just on our culture and our attitude, we're gold. When the women of other money.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So when women of cultures actually see that, that's gold. No. That's gold to them.
We got 519 likes, but 866 watching. Hit the like button, please.
Let's get the like to 600, please.
Thank you very much. Ryle dropping it again. Don't forget, many Black women celebrated Kevin Samuels' death, which accelerated the exodus. Even white manosphere dudes were shocked at the Black females' hatred.
Yeah.
Kevin, that's absolutely right.
In other words, that low-key hatred and disdain that Black women have for Black men actually came out in full force.
And it was brazen. It was clear enough for people to see, and many people, even many Black women, were shocked at the intensity of it. But for many Black men, it was par for the course. It really hadn't changed. It was just there are certain events like Kevin's death where it was considered appropriate for that expression to be extended. And I've called it a black masculinist turn. It's one of many where Black men looked at that and said, "Oh shit, this is a whole nother level." And this vitriol at Black men, we're tired of it. We're tired of it. Shout out to Ben. He says, "My 2 cents," and BGS tax for the conversation.
Yeah, Black men have really had enough, and they're ready to leave. Instead of catching feelings, they're catching flights. They're out.
Hey, shout out to Elia, I think it is. He says, "Just purchased some gear from the Institute for Black Male Studies store to show my support. Appreciate you. Much appreciation to you. Thank you." Yeah, y'all check it out. Institute for Black Male Studies.
I'm still waiting on that T-shirt though, sir.
What? Oh man, I'll make it. Yeah.
Insert man here. Okay.
Yeah, man, I will. It's already designed. I just got to put it in the store, so I will definitely do that. But this is ridiculous, man. So any closing thoughts you want to add to this, man, before we get out of here?
You know what? Soft girl era is a good start if it's true. Thing is, we actually need more skin in the game. Okay, invest in your boys. Take Negroes off of child support. 50-50 custody. Prove that you're willing to actually come to the table with some kind of sincerity, because it looks like a finesse to us.
It does, and I think the first lady I played, was a lot more honest about what it was. Part of the issue that we deal with is having these discussions in good faith or in bad faith. And what she showed us was a lot of that behavior was done in bad faith, or at least a faith that wasn't anything constructive for us. And so that's causing a lot of us to back out. Look at what Shaw X is saying. That I said it when it happened, when Black women danced and laughed over Kevin Samuels' grave. That was the final straw, and Black men younger and older saw that and said, "We are out."
All right, and then, right before that was actually the Ice Cube thing, where they said Black women are not Black people.
Yeah.
They came back to bite them in the ass politically already. So this is financially.
Yeah, and then you have some that are doubling, tripling, and quadrupling down on not having any real association with Black men. And it's just reached the point where it's like, okay, well, it is what it is. That's what you want.
Still haven't came against some divestors. Okay, divestors still spouting all kind of racist stuff. Nobody does anything. Okay, start with them. They should be run off of YouTube, but you guys aren't doing anything. Well, that means guess what? You guys agree with them.
Alyssa asked actually a very interesting question that I want to hear what your take is on that. Is the soft girl era trying to attract white men or Black men?
It's Black men, because white men get this already. Because if a Black woman's not soft, she can't get a white man. Because this is actually appeal to Black men. Because Black men don't get this. White men already get soft girls when Black women actually approach them.
Damn. I guess it's Some of these aren't popping up on my screen the way they are on the other screen. But anyway, K-Ron says, as Kevin Samuels would say, Atlas has shrugged, and out of fear of what's to come for them, Black women feign softness to get salvation from their men. Interesting. This is where we are. And all I would say is I would appreciate just a much more honest conversation. That's all I'm saying. I think at the end of the day, most Black men would appreciate honesty and sincerity and a dialogue in good faith. But as long as these kind of manipulative tactics are the go-to, I think it's going to just further split people more than anything else.
Oh yeah, but it's offensive because we've been asking for this, and when you get in trouble, you try to throw this in our face like it's real. Black men actually offended more than actually like it.
Wow.
So it's not going to work. You can see even the women don't believe this stuff. That was funny as heck.
Yeah, and I've seen it in this chat as well as on Twitter. The women aren't even buying this. They're not buying it. You know, we got Mojo Moon says, my ex left me pregnant with my child. She didn't cook, clean, or pay bills. I did, despite all I did, including spending $1,000 on her. A gender reveal. She said I never did anything, and that I wasn't even a man.
Yeah.
But this goes back to what we were saying as far as a redress of grievances. You are going to have to hear Black men. You cannot have 40 to 50 years of media productions telling men they aren't shit, and then somehow get 2 years of Kevin Samuels and say this is unfair. Black women need to be heard. That's one of the things I was telling you earlier. It amazes me that, you know, you'll have these discussions on, you know, primarily Black male channels. And you'll hear women come into the space and demand to be heard about grievances that we've been hearing about for 40, 50 years.
Right.
And I've never seen Black men as outspoken as I'm hearing now. So I'm saying, look, at some point, Black men need to be heard. And if you, and the difference is, we're not going to go to NBC or CNN and demand to be heard. Obsidian used to say it all the time. Black men instead vote with their feet. So
that's what they've done. You know, and winter's coming, and guess what? Everybody has to kind of man the wall. You don't, you're not with us. I'll toss you over.
Look at Kalila. Kalila said, "You will never be Mrs. Cartwright." God. Oh my God! Damn. The women are going in. The women are going in. You will never be
Mrs. Cartwright.
Oh my God, man! Wow. Well, I guess that one, that whole thing has been, that soft light might have been a little too blatant for the women and the men.
Oh man, that's a slap in the face. Really? We need that RBF meme. You know, is this what we doing? Really?
This shit is giving me a headache, man. It really is. I'm like, it ain't that damn complicated. You know, I mean, what they used to say on the Manosphere, just bring beer.
Be easy, bring beer. Yeah.
Be easy, bring beer. It ain't more complicated than that. Why are they making this hard?
Because they this is their impression of what we want.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's a finesse. Okay.
Yeah, it is. It is. Shout out to Rogish. I see you in there, man. Yeah, this is a mess. This is a mess. But anyway, I appreciate y'all coming.
Yeah. And saying hi to Ashley and Trig, my favorite couple.
Oh yeah.
And that little cute little baby.
All right. Shit, man. I'm gonna give you the last word, please. I don't.
Okay, I told Negroes 5 years ago, they're coming back to the table. Okay, they're gonna raise the white flag. Do you believe them? And will you accept them back? And guess what the answer is? No. Like Cisco said, not enough.
It's not this goddamn hard. It really isn't.
They got to come with more now. It wasn't a year ago.
I think, and you alluded to this earlier. What other women are finding out across the world is that even the most accomplished of Black men aren't asking for much. I
Yeah.
mean, the funny part is when you talk about women who've been trained from birth to be wives, what black men are asking for is so minuscule. I mean, even one of my boys, who's now going on his 10th year happily married, his wife told him back when they were dating, he listed out what he wanted in a marriage, and mind you, that took 40 years for him to be able to do. It took 40 years for him to be able to say in one conversation, these are the things I like and I'm looking for. And her response to him was so mind-blowing, because this was not a black woman, this is a woman from another community, and her response was, "That's all." And he said, "Yeah," but I never was able to forget that. Her response was, "Is that all?"
Is that all? Yeah. Same thing with Mike. They live. His girlfriend's Latina. He listed out what he wanted, and she said, "Is that it?
Is that it? Yeah.
That's all you want?"
Another brother told me his lady was talking about, she said, compared to what the men of my culture have raised us to provide, she's like, that's the bare minimum. But the bare minimum, for other groups, for black men, is like, yeah, I'm good with that.
Unobtainium. Don't even ask, Negro.
Yeah,
now this generation of black women don't even want to have a meal for you when you get home after a 13-hour shift.
Well,
the first thing they say, I'm not your mama.
I've been there. I've done everywhere from 1 to 4 jobs in one day, plus grad school. And I'm coming home to Pop-Tarts. Now, mind you, she don't have to work at all. And and I've always been a provider. I didn't have a problem with taking care of you, but when you don't reciprocate, and I think that's become something that black men are getting tired of as well. If I'm gonna work multiple jobs to keep us going, and I can't even rely on the most basic level of respect. I mean, hell, even when you're making yourself a plate and you don't make a brother a plate who's coming home from multiple jobs, you know what I mean? That was my whole issue. But I'm seeing it now, and I'm finally seeing black men speaking up. So I'm happy to see it. I really am.
Yeah. They've had enough. The black masculine's turn, right?
It definitely is. And the thing about it is, this goes back to some of your debate with the FD cat, where he was talking about, y'all don't know how you're being seen. Black men no longer care. They don't care if people like what we're saying or what we're not. We don't care, because the chips are stacked against us anyway. It's not a conversation that black men initiated. It's a conversation that feminists initiated. And so we're not participating in the manner they want us to. We're participating to the degree that it suits our experiences and what we're interested in. We don't care if you like it or you don't like it. And if you don't like it, that's fine. Black men are finding alternatives, and it is what it is. It is what it is. So you're going to accept it, or you're going to compete.
Yeah, the competition is here. It's getting stiffer all the time.
Oh, really? Man, I've told you this story. I hired a white woman years ago to be to give me some financial consulting, as far as my job. This was before I even knew what a pension was. I had a pension, but I had never bothered to look it up. And that was just that retirement stuff I didn't want to think about because I was a young man. But she told me, she said, let me tell you something. She said, I have black girlfriends and I have white girlfriends. This is a white woman. Said, my black girlfriends would not date you. She said, she was the first one that ever told me. She said, as far as they're concerned, doctorate or not, you are a teacher. They're not interested. My black girlfriends couldn't care less about you. And she said that because her husband was in a similar field as me. And she was saying, I listened to what my black girlfriends said about my husband. They wouldn't date him or you. She said, my white girlfriends can tell you what pension you'll be earning when you retire. They knew what places had a pension, how much it paid. I didn't even know what a pension was, BGS. And these women were, and she was telling me there are other groups of women who study this well enough to know what level to compete at for your attention.
Right.
I was blown out of my chair. I never pondered that before. So all I'm saying is the game is afoot.
Hey, it's there. Like the music just slow and word to stop. To quote Margin Call.
Hey,
All right. We got one more super chat.
Dre Drizzle. He says, I have fought wars in corporate and spent 20 years in the military. I'm a self-made man. There's no way I will come home to fight a war in my relationship. Respect is non-negotiable. Peace is king.
Yes.
Truer words have never been spoken. That's it.
Elvis has left the building.
Elvis has left the building. We're going to close on that. I appreciate y'all for coming out. Now, I'm going to use a different closing than usual, but I think it's warranted. So shout out to BGS for coming through. Appreciate it.
Anytime, Doc.
All right.
We didn't get enough Hasan this episode, but
Hasan is laughing his ass off. That's what this shit, man. Anyway, but I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for coming through, man. I'm gonna pull you down. So shout out to BGS. Shout out to all of y'all that support. I'm gonna use a different closing. This usually goes for my live show, but this is something I want brothers to remember in our dealings with anybody, most particularly women. Keep this in mind as we close out. I am here to tell you, brothers, we are not criminals by birth, perennial rapists, incapable intellects, man-children, sperm donors, child support wellsprings, success objects, walking phalluses, ATM machines, lottery tickets, unintelligent henchmen, valueless assassins, pro bono mercenaries, unpaid bodyguards, interchangeable stepfathers, child discipline proxies, unpaid repairmen, workhorses, emotional tampons, or any other socially accepted dehumanizing stereotype. We are thinkers, inventors, innovators, leaders, fathers, and men. Embrace your humanity, know your worth, and extend your time, attention, and resources only to those who genuinely respect you. And remember, your worth is not defined by meeting other people's narcissistic, selfish, and unrealistic needs. You define your worth. Peace.